بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ومن والاه ثم أما بعد. جزاكم الله خير for joining today. So it's an exciting lesson because we have the honor to talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have the honor to talk about the King of Kings, the owner of this creation, the creator of this creation, the creator of us, subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot describe our creator except through how he has described himself. We cannot praise him except through praising him in the way that he has praised himself. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we described last time that we've covered Islam, and we've covered the pillars of Islam, and we've covered the philosophy behind why the pillars are there, and the value and the impact it has on a Muslim. But a Muslim should not stop there. A Muslim should seek to proceed into faith. Now, the actions of Islam are the actions of the body. Physical, yes? I state with my tongue that there is no God but Allah, no God but God, and Muhammad is his prophet, yes? And then I pray, yes? And it's a physical exercise again. And then what? Well, people answering, people know the pillars. After Salah is what? Zakah, yes? So I pay from my money, excess of it, for the sake of Allah, again a physical exercise. And then I fast, yes? And a physical exercise again, and then I perform pilgrimage, a physical exercise once more. So what about the heart? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that there is one organ in the body. If it is good, the rest of the body is good. And if it is damaged, the rest of the body is damaged. And this is the organ that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assesses us based upon it. Does not assess us based upon our appearance, or our families, or our heritage, or whatever. No. These are all things given to us by our Creator. The only thing that He expects to assess us based upon it is our heart. And we're not talking about the physical heart itself, but we're talking about the qualities we carry, yes, in our chest. And we said that faith then are all actions of the heart, all of them, yes, true belief in Allah. So you need to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to believe in Him, yes, you need to know Him. And then true belief in His prophets and His books and His angels and His and His destiny and the Day of Judgment. These are things that are for us to take. There's no physical action here. These are all actions of the heart. And then we reach the final state, which is the state of ihsan, benevolence, where you combine both your actions, physical, and your belief. You are worshipping Allah as if you can see Him, and if you can't reach that level that you can imagine that He can see you, you're 100% sure that He can see you. That means that you are worshipping at the same time. The faith is settled in your heart. So what is faith? Faith is a true belief that sits in your heart, and you don't have to take it out every now and then and negotiate with it. For instance, we all have faith that the sun exists. No one sits down at night between himself and says, well, I need to revisit the issue if the sun exists or not. Because, that's not faith. Because the concept hasn't settled completely in the heart to the extent that there's no conversation again about it. You don't have to revisit it. You believe that if you are married, that your wife exists and that you are married. You don't have to wake up every morning and convince yourself that you are married again and so on, yes? Sometimes you do, but that's that's a different. But the idea is that faith is an absolute belief that settles in the heart. So, but there's a problem with faith in Islam. There's a problem with faith. That faith, Rasulullah says that it wears off. It's like clothes that can get old, and it gets holes in it. Yes, faith the faith that we have has to be preserved. If it's not preserved, it will leak away. It will become like your clothes that you haven't taken care of them. They're nice and fancy and pure cashmere wool, and you left it in the cupboard for 5 years without any what's it called, methylamine balls or something like that, and suddenly it comes out full of holes. Yes, so faith requires preservation. Great. So what are we doing here today? We are still in the faith belief of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not the faith of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through rediscussing why we believe in Allah. No, we are here to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more, know Him more, so that our faith and the way we deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes very different, and it influences our lives. So Allah gave us 99 of His names that reflect His character and actions. His character and actions that are both infinite and absolute. And the more we, they say, don't spend time with people that you admire too much. Yeah, don't they? They say, because the more you know them, the less glamorous they look. The less glamorous they seem. Yes? So you see someone on TV that you listen to and so on, and then you spend time with him on a trip, and by the end of the trip you say, I hate this guy, I don't want to ever see him again, because his habits are horrible, he snores at night, and yes. So the idea is that do not try to know closer people around you that are celebrities. Yes, celebrities then don't know you celebrities, as they say. Yes. But for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that there is nothing like Him, it is quite the opposite. The more you know Him, the more you love Him. The more you know Him, the more you feel how close He is to you. The more you know Him, the less the worry about this world. The more you know Him, the more safe and content you feel. The more you know Him, the more you want to put more and more effort into whatever you can do to please Him. Because the relationship has changed from a command to performing this to someone that you love, that you are trying to please any way possible. And we need to all to reach that, go through that transition. If you have lived up till now without feeling any of those feelings towards your Creator, then, well, Ramadan is coming, inshallah. And we are here to cover some of Allah's names that reflect His character, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and His actions with us. So He named those names for us. For us. He adhered Himself to those characters for us. For us. Yes? Not for anyone else. For us. Yes? So that we can ask Him by those names. We are comforted by those names. So we are starting today. And when I look at the translation of the names to English, they're quite sad, really. So it's very hard to capture the name in English, the meaning of it from that side. Anyway, so 5-second Arabic lesson for those that hate Arabic from last year. 5-second Arabic lesson. All the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are in the extreme form. Yes? Which means that if I am patient, yes, I have sabr. And I assume that people that speak Urdu or Punjabi, they know sabr. Yes, I understand it's a word there as well. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He describes Himself, He does not say, yes, that Allah has sabr. No, He says, as-sabur, the extreme form, the absolute form of the word. Yes, and that's the same for all the names. So I'll give you a clue of the name today and see if anyone can guess it. Yes, it is the name that reflects Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's character, that He opens closed doors for us. He opens mercies for us. Yes. Anyone know this Al-Fattah? Well done. Al-Fattah. So we are today starting with Ismullah, the name of Allah Al-Fattah. Fataha, for the people that in Arabic last year, may Allah have mercy on Arabic and days of Arabic. Yes, Fataha, for the people that attended, is a past tense because it has a fatha on its last, the end of the word has a fatha on it, so it's called Fataha. Yes, and Fataha means to open. Yes, past tense, to open. Yes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then takes the source of the word Fataha or Fath and makes it into its extreme and absolute form in the language. Al-Fattah. So what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opening for us? What is it that He's opening for us? I think let's start by going through a scenario that we've all been in our lives. I've been many times in this scenario. You have a fundamental issue, a crucial issue in your life, and you know this person, you know this person, you know this person that can help you sort out this problem. And you go to each one of them, and the door closes. You go to this person as well, and the door closes. And you had their final hope was this person, and the door closes as well. And in the past, when I was younger, I'd say, well, Allah, you're the most merciful. Why are you closing those doors in front of me? Why are those doors closed in front of me? Allah wants what does Allah want from His servants? Allah wants from His servants the reliance. The reliance. A servant needs to rely on his master. Know that he is weak. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would close all doors in front of me. All the doors. And then open something that I did not assume was even a door. It would open something that, you know, when you have, these are my options. These are the options I know. These are the options I know. Yes. And then Allah opens another thing that you don't even have it as an option in your life. Yes. And I'm talking about myself, and I'm sure all of you have experienced this in your life. Yes. This is the action of Al-Fattah. Yes. That He does not close the doors so you get depressed. He closes the door so you get close. So that you get close. In Arabic, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the clerics say, yes, that He did not close the doors لِتَكْتَئِب. تَكْتَئِب, which means to get depressed. Yes. إِنَّمَا لِتَقْتَرِب. So that you get closer to Him. Yes. So that your reliance purely is on Him. Allah does not accept that your reliance would be on anyone else. Allah will never accept it, that your reliance would be on another human. If He loves you, He will never accept that your reliance lingers on another human being. He will close all routes for you. And I leave you with the story of Zakaria alayhi salam. Zakaria was relative of, through marriage, of Maryam ibnat Imran. Maryam alayhi salam, that gave birth to Jesus, Isa alayhi salam. Now, Zakaria alayhi salam is an old man, and he spent his whole life taking care of people that have dedicated their lives to worship Allah in the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Palestine. That's what he's dedicated his life for. Yes. From those people were Maryam ibnat Imran. Maryam alayhi salam, he would enter her place of worship, and every time he'd enter, he'd see food and drink that no one bought it to her. قال يا مريم أنى لك هذا. Where is this? Where are you getting this? قالت هو من عند الله. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to me. Yes. At that moment, Zakaria alayhi salam understood Ismullah Al-Fattah. He's opening mercy to Maryam alayhi salam, exclusive for her, not for anyone else. He said, so why don't I go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask him to open mercies for me that have been locked? Zakaria alayhi salam is an old man that has no children, and he's worried about the people after that the people he cares for, that after he dies, that no one will do this job. No one will take care of those people afterwards. So he speaks to Allah. إذ نادى ربه نداء خفيا. He spoke to Allah secretly between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying, I'm an old man now. Yes. وهن العظم مني. وهن العظم, which means that my bones have become soft. How old is someone for their bones to become porotic? Or we call in surgery or medicine osteoporosis. And the bones have become softer, more prone to break. 65. For men, probably after 70. Yes. واشتعل الرأس شيبا. And my hair is completely grey now. Yes. وَلَمْ أَكُنْ بِدُعَائِكَ رَبِّي شَقِيًّا. And I have never lost faith or hope in my supplications and dua for you. And also, my wife is infertile. Everything's against him in this equation. He's old, above 70. His hair is grey. His bones are soft. He is feeble. And his wife is infertile. Yes? But he's saying to Allah, Al-Fattah, open this door for me. Yes? I want a boy. I want a boy. Yes? So, this is Zakaria's dua. Yes? When Allah responds to Zakaria, Ya Zakaria, إِنَّا نُبَشِّرُكَ بِغُلَامٍ اسْمُهُ يَحْيَى لَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ سَمِيًّا. We are giving you a boy by the name of Yahya. Yes? That the name has never been allocated to anyone before you. Never given to any. This is a new name that's never been given to anyone but you. A gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Fattah. What does Zakaria say then? He is arguing back from his mentality, alayhi salam, peace be upon him, thinking, but how? I'm too ill and I'm too old and my wife is infertile. How am I going to have a child? You see the argument. You see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is capable in anything and everything, and reasons and rules do not limit him. He has created those for us. But Zakaria is arguing back with his saying, but these obstacles, but these closed doors should prevent me from having this. So Allah's response says, وَهُوَ عَلَيَّ هَيِّن. This is so simple for me, Ya Zakaria. To give you a boy is extremely simple for me. وَقَدْ خَلَقْتُكَ مِنْ قَبْلِ وَلَمْ تَكُ شَيْءٍ. And I created you before and you were nothing. Does the fact that you have a fertilized egg ensure that you grow to be a grown man? These are just the rules and reasons. These are just the rules and reasons that Allah has created for us. So when we deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to deal with Him. When you have a problem that is so dark and so locked, and there is that all the doors are shut. When I see that, I know the solution is there. I know the solution is coming. But I know the solution is in me standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and repeatedly asking Him by His name, Al-Fattah. Open the doors for me now. This is the time that I need you to open the doors for me. Wallahi, the doors that open, I did not assume they were even options or doors to be opened. Yes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened Yarzuq. He bestows on you because He's the most generous. Not only is He Al-Fattah, yes, He is Al-Jawad, the most generous. Yes. So if you stand in front of a king from this world, he will hand you a gift even if he can't help you, will hand you a gift on the way out and say, don't worry, and here's my numbers and so on. And if you're standing in front of Al-Kareem, the most generous, Al-Jawad, the most generous. So anyone in this world that faces a problem and faces the doors locked in front of his face, and it will happen so many times. Go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Him by His name, Al-Fattah. That is one of the meanings of Allah's name, Al-Fattah. And there is another meaning for the name. Yes. Another meaning in the Quran, yes, ثُمَّ يَفْتَحِ اللَّهُ بَيْنَهُمْ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will rule between them. It is like when you're facing, for instance, people at work are claiming that you making false claims against you, or people in the neighborhood are making false claims against you and accusing you of so and so and so and so and so and so. Yes. And you don't know how to come clean with these claims. So you leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you ask Allah, رَبَّنَا افتح بيننا وبين قومنا بالحق وأنت خير الفاتحين. Yes. Allah, provide complete clarity in this issue between me and the people and my enemies that are trying to slander me and drag my name in the dirt. This is the other name of Al-Fattah. And I'll give you a story of Aisha radwanallahu alayha. Aisha is the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And she was accused a horrible accusation. She was accused that she had committed adultery, yes, with one of the other companions of at the time. Yes, she was late and she fell. Her necklace fell off, and she was going to search for it, and then everyone else traveled, and she was left behind, and it was only this man to take her, back, etc. And how the whole of the Medina, except a few people, for a whole month, talking about this, either positively or negatively. Yes. Aisha radhiyallahu alayha describes that she said that I don't remember how long I was crying. I was crying day and night, non-stop. Wa Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is telling her, if you have committed something, ask Allah for maghfirah. Ask Allah to forgive you. And you have not, ask Allah to make the truth clear. So she asked for her father. Her father is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, to say, so defend me. He said, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And then Al-Fattah sent the clear-cut truth. Not in a dream that Rasulullah ru'ya he would see. No. Absolute truth. In 20 verses. In the Quran. In Surah An-Nur. Yes. Describing that Aisha alayha is absolutely innocent. And warning people. Never, ever, ever accuse women in their honor. Yes. Or discuss this between you. Yes. لولا إذ سمعتموه. Yes. ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات في أنفسهم خيرا. Yes. The moment you listen to this, say no. They are both good people, and I'm not going to discuss this issue. Yes. So if people at work or people in the neighborhood or your neighbors or your distant family or so on are continuously slandering you, or continuously claiming lies against you, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Fatah. ربنا افتح بيننا وبين قومنا بالحق وأنت خير الفاتحين. Finally, the doors of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are purely linked to Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Fatir says, ما يفتح الله للناس من رحمة فلا ممسك لها وما يمسك فلا مرسل له من بعده. The doors of mercy are only in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens a door of mercy for you, no one else can close it. And if He closes it, no one else can open it after Him. This is an invitation for us to purely rely on Him, بِاسْمِهِ الْفَتَّاحِ. That Allah, why am I going in front of other human beings and drooping my head and my shoulders and being so submissive when I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only owner of the doors of mercy. And mercy here doesn't only mean forgiveness. Mercy here is whatever He wants to bestow on you. From good, from riches, from whatever. From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All this is from Ismihi Al-Fattah. So this is the introduction to His name, Al-Fattah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. I give you the story of people say, well, listen, I've asked Allah in His name Al-Fattah and nothing's happened. I've asked Him in His name Al-Fattah, nothing's happened. Or something even worse has happened than I expected. What? So what? What is? Am I doing it wrong? Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not answering my dua? What is it? What is it? I leave you with the story of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the treaty of Al-Hudaybiyah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sees in his dreams that he is performing Umrah. In which year? The 6th year after Hijrah. 6th year after traveling, immigrating to Al-Madinah. At the time, Mecca is owned by Quraysh, and Quraysh are non-believers at this time. So he goes and prepares for Umrah. He's not going to fight. These are his people. He's not going to fight. He goes, prepares for Umrah, dresses for Umrah, and al-Miqat, and goes. Mecca hears this, says, oh no, he's not entering this year. He is not entering to perform Umrah this year. And they send over a man called Suhail ibn Amr to negotiate with him. And the negotiations and the terms of the agreement are quite harsh for the Muslims. Quite harsh. They are stating that no Muslims, people that become Muslims in Mecca, cannot go to Medina, to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if people want to leave Medina and go back to Mecca, that's fine. Yes? While they're discussing this treaty, the son of Suhail ibn Amr has broken through this imprisonment in Mecca and run to where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is. During the treaty, before the treaty is signed. And Suhail ibn Amr tells him, well, this is what we agreed to. My son cannot come with you. My son cannot come with you. We agreed. Anyone from Mecca that becomes a Muslim cannot go to and join you in Medina. On the contrary, anyone that wants to leave you in Medina and can join us in Mecca, that's fine. The Sahaba, the companions of Rasulullah ﷺ, for the first time ever, disobeyed his order. Or didn't disobey, delayed in obeying his order. That's how angry they were. That's how angry they were. They went to perform Umrah and they couldn't perform Umrah. Yes? They signed a treaty that gives Quraysh the upper hand. Yes? And doesn't allow Muslims to leave. This is one of the subsets. There's so many others. Yes? So, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Quran in Surah Al-Fatah. إِنَّا فَتَحْنَا لَكَ فَتْحًا مُبِينًا. We have given you a great opening with this treaty. Umar ibn al-Khattab is angry. He's like, Rasulullah, are you sure it's Fatah? Are you sure this is Fatah? We said we're going to go to Umrah and we don't go to Umrah. We said that we signed a treaty that we're not happy with. How is this Fatah? How is this Fatah? قال يا عمر إنه فتح. Yes, it is. It is. Yes. How long after did Fatah Mecca? After that was Mecca owned by the Muslims? How long after that? How long? How many years? 2 years. 2 years after that, Mecca was. Rasulullah ﷺ entered Mecca through how many? With how many soldiers? How many companions? 10,000. 10,000. Without shed one drop of bloodshed. How was this treaty the reason that they entered Mecca 2 years later? Yes. How? So the moment the tribes, the other tribes saw that there was a treaty between Rasulullah ﷺ and Mecca, they said, okay, we can now listen to him without the tension of war anymore. There's no war between them, so we can listen. And when they listened, they became Muslim. Not only that, Rasulullah ﷺ used the treaty and the peace to send messengers to 24 places. The rest of the world, really, the rest of the old world at the time. Persia, an empire, Roman Empire, Egypt, Yemen, everywhere for Islam. Calling people for Islam. So, if you find that when you ask him in his name, Al-Fattah, and things don't turn out like you want him to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to trust him. He wants you to trust him. That's one thing. Two, he wants to listen to your voice. He wants to listen to your voice. There's a hadith Qudsi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states that there are people when they raise their hands and make dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Jibreel, Ya Jibreel, اقضي حاجته وأغلق بابه فإني لا أحب أن أسمع صوته. Give him what he wants, close his door, and I don't want to hear it because I don't want to hear his voice. How? And the man or the woman that his dua is answered is so happy. I guess I'm a very high in rank. And others, Allah tells you, Ya Jibreel, أخر مسألته. Delay his request. Delay it. فإني أحب أن أسمع صوته. I would love to hear his voice. He's been away from me for all this time, or she's been away from me for all this time. And now she's in need and dire need. I've closed all the doors for her. And I want her to stand in front of my door and keep knocking until the door opens. But I love to hear her voice. Can you deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that way? Know that he will delay things not give it to you as you asked today, Fatah, open it. Yes, it will. It might be if it's the best for you. But it might come in a form that you dislike. It might come in a form that you dislike. Altogether, Asma'ullah al-Husna, Allah's names, do not work separately. They work in combination. Yes? There are 99 names. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not only work, you don't ask Allah in Ism al-Fatah, He will answer you in Ism al-Fatah, He will answer you in all His names. He is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes? And sometimes He will do it without you even asking. Do you feel a bit closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Know that He's named Himself for you, Al-Fattah, so that when the doors are closed, you come to Him. When people are falsely accusing you, that He will be the one to raise you, to clear your name. That when there is mercy that is in your name, no one else can block it. Yes. But He wants you to go and ask Him. Go and ask Him. The whole idea that we avoid dua, altogether. And we assume that, and we go and seek other human beings. We won't pray Fajr or pray at night, but we'll go in the morning and call so and so because he knows so and so that is going to help us with our problem. Or we're going to go to the doctor because we have a problem and this doctor is better than this doctor. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying do that, but these are all reasons that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for us. They are not in control. They're humans just like us. They're servants just like us from that side. This is Ismullah Al-Fattah. I'm trying to keep the videos a bit